They are wild and they're locally adapted, and they may provide important clues for their continued survival. Join us as we collect a wild honeybee swarm, bringing the people behind our food to life.
So I'm told that there it is. Hopefully I can reach it. Yeah, it looks like I'll be able to. The purpose of a swarm is to reproduce. It's the method that bees use to split in half and create more colonies. And so, a quarter to half of the bees will leave the old hive with the old queen, and they'll move into another tree or a wall or a mailbox or someplace they think is a nice, cozy, dry home. And then they will start building new combs, and they'll start raising young, and they'll start over again. I like to spray them with water or sugar water or something first, so that when I knock them into the box, they're not going to be able to fly very easily. Otherwise, I end up with half the colony flying around, and it takes twice as long to get them in the box. Generally, they're not going to swarm unless it's spring, unless there's forage available. So right now in Portland, Oregon, there's a lot of flowers blooming. There's a lot of food available. And they also need it to be sunny. They need it to be, at least 55 degrees. So today, I think it's around 60 or low 60s right now. So today is a very good day for them to swarm. So next, I'm just gonna drop them into the box. If only I was taller. Here we go. So hopefully the queen's in here. We'll know in a couple minutes whether she is. And if she is, they should stay in this box. If she's not, they're gonna fly right back up to that branch and we'll start over again. The scouts are all flying around right now looking for a new home. And they didn't get the memo that their colony was just dropped in a box. So they're going to return to that branch where they had left, and hopefully they'll catch the whiff of that pheromone of the bees below, and they'll move down. You can see some of the bees with their rear ends up in the air, like that one. They have a pheromone in their rear end, and it's pumping that pheromone up into the air. It tells the other bees, here we are. I think we got them though, because there's not many bees up on that branch. We would have known very quickly, all those bees would be back up there if we didn't get that queen. So that's a good sign. So once this swarm is settled and once they start building some combs, I will inspect the combs. I'll look for the signs of a laying queen and a healthy colony. And then I will let the next person in my swarm queue know that their bees are ready, and they'll come pick them up and put them in their own hive. I'm doing this because I have a lot of customers that need swarms of bees for their own hives. They are buying top bar hives or warrior hives or alternative style hives, and they need a way to put bees in it. But another reason is a lot of people are looking for local bees. They're looking for bees that are adapted to our environment. They're looking for bees that hopefully have been able to survive without medication, without human interaction. These bees, for instance, have been living in a log on their own for at least 2 or 3 years. They've had no medication, they've had no treatments, and so it makes them a very good candidate to actually start your own hive, because they're not going to be reliant on all of those miticides and insecticides that most beekeepers are pouring into their hives. So I've personally found that swarms, for me, do much better than any packages or bees purchased from breeders down in the southern United States. I think hobbyists and sideline beekeepers like myself, I have about 25 hives, I think we have a unique opportunity to experiment, to try different methods, to try not using these medications, to see if we can create a stronger gene pool, to create better genetics in our bees, because I think that's going to be the only sustainable solution to help beekeeping. Without it, we're going to just continue down this path of medication and treatments, and we're going to continue to watch these tremendous losses. And I mean, beekeepers just pump millions of dollars every year into these treatments, and I don't need to use them. And it saves me money, it saves me time, and Now I have a honeybee population in my own apiary that is much stronger than 3 years ago. I mean, the first season when I started with 20 hives, I had about 50% loss the first winter. And the second winter I had about 25% loss. And this past winter I had 10% loss. And I've never treated any of my hives with any medication. And I think it's difficult to experience 50% loss. It's never fun to watch that many of your creatures die. But now I'm looking at, they're able to do it on their own. They don't need me. And I think that's a really good thing. But for commercial beekeepers, they can't afford it. These guys have 10,000 hives, and to lose 5,000 of them is many millions of dollars. And they can't feed their families, and they can't pollinate our foods, our crops that we as a nation need. So I think sideline hobbyist beekeepers need to be the ones that try these new methods.
That's all there is to it. Box of bees.
So that we can try and help beekeeping.